Hello, welcome and welcome back. This is Jacob and today we're gonna be finishing off the narration for the currently rerunning Dossoles Holiday side story in Arknights. And as it is customary with these final episodes for these side story narrations, several things will be included in this one as always. The final boss battle will be included, aka the whole stage, which will be interesting to look at considering I have not done any adjustments or whatnot to that stage. So everything on it is still set up the way it was slightly more than a year ago when this side story was the second year anniversary side story. Then moving on, we will also, once the story section is over, we will be including the honors showcase section here, because that one entails 6 individual pictures with their own little descriptions and stories that are pretty much spread around the events of both the story itself, plus taking place after the story. I would also like to remind you all that Shen's altar has 2 operator records that are both linked in a single video in the description of this video. And they pretty much, like always with these kinds of events, act as a extra epilogue to the whole story, essentially. But yeah, that will be linked in the description as it was in the previous 2 videos. And finally, once we are completely done, I will pretty much just ramble a bit about my thoughts about this side story, which will be both based on how I originally felt about the story back when it was released. Just gonna dig through my memory of way back when, and compare it to right now and the just recently released 3rd anniversary story, and just compare the 2 against each other. I guess would be an interesting thing to do. Outside of that, in some of these more recent narrations that I did, I would include also like a music track at the end and stuff that is tied to this whole event. Sadly, both music tracks that have been released for this event, the CG one and the non-CG one, are well, they would flag the video with a copyright, so that's not gonna happen. But I will include both of them in, yet again, the description of the video, so just look for a bunch of links in there if you wanna see anything and find out more or just listen to good music. But yeah, outside of that, when it comes to the usual segment here at the beginning as well of the recap of the previous part, not much really to recap outside of the fact that in the previous part we learned that Shen and Lin finally decided to work together, and they have narrowed down their suspicions of who is behind all the bad stuff happening, or the terrorist threats essentially against Candela. Ernesto, pretty much to us, the viewers, or rather readers, has revealed that both him and his adopted sister, Rafaela, are working for their father, who is the actual mastermind behind everything. And once the triathlon started, the group consisting of Shen and Lin went into one of Ernesto's shops, which promptly exploded, burying them underneath the rubble. They busted out, they kept running, and they finished the triathlon by Lin literally jumping over little glass pillars that she created over the water, and also using Shen's head as a one of those little pillars, which I have no doubt that Dragon will remember that. She will definitely remember that. Outside of that, we saw a group of Rhode Islanders actually stop by into Dossoles for their very own little holiday, but also to negotiate with Candela to open up a subsidiary of Rhode Island in Dossoles itself. So how all of that will go, we'll see. But yeah, let us begin with today's narration, shall we? So, today's narration will begin right here on stage DHST-3, titled Turnabout is Fair Play. And it says here, Shen knows very well that Ernesto harbors ill intentions, but she is not alone. Papa, the lackeys told me to tell you all the preparations are complete.
Is that so?
Papa, you don't seem very well. How come? I thought you've been waiting for this day for a long time.
Candela's a lot more difficult to deal with than you imagine. We mustn't let our guard down until the very last moment. Rafaela. If things look like they are about to take a turn for the worse, you make sure to get out of here with Ernesto.
I want to stay with you, Papa.
Be a good girl and do as I say. You should never have been part of this. If old Pooh found out he entrusted his daughter to me only for me to make her go through all this, he'd probably dig his way out of his grave and kill me. As for the brat Ernesto,
What about him?
he thinks I can't tell how he feels, but of course I can.
He's not trying to betray us.
I know, and we won't see this through without him. But he doesn't actually want to do this himself.
Why is that?
He doesn't want to just eat well, sleep well, and worry about nothing else. Pardon. Who doesn't want to just eat well, sleep well, and worry about nothing else? Pancho reaches his hand to his adopted daughter's head and gives her a pet. Okay, be a good girl and bring me my pipe. I need some time alone.
Okay.
Miss Shen, there you are. Where's Miss Lin? I thought you two would be together.
Wrapping the act already.
Now that we've come to this, there's really no reason to keep up the facade anymore, is there? I really didn't think you two would break out of my shop, though. I guess I didn't give you enough credit. I'm curious, though. How did you find out?
Lin Yusha spotted your men setting up bombs during the first round. We didn't tell you, though.
You were already suspicious of me at that point.
As a precaution. And our suspicions were confirmed when we found the same explosives in your store.
I see. I didn't expect the fight to be over that soon.
So what will you do? Will you put up a struggle or will you turn yourself in?
I just want to say one thing, Miss Shen.
Perhaps you'll come to have a different opinion about all of this after I'm done. I'm listening.
Miss Shen, how familiar are you with Bolivar's history?
Can't say I know much.
Right, you studied abroad in Victoria, and Victoria hasn't really meddled in Bolivar's affairs that much.
If you haven't ever gone out of your way to look into our history, I can't fault you for not being familiar with the subject.
Before Iberia discovered this place, it was nothing more than a plain called Bolivar.
The Iberians found many originium veins here, and that's why they decided to stay and turn it into a colony. Then, one way or another, Iberia's rule here came to an end. After a period of chaos that lasted 130 years, the Lithanians came, and that's how Bolivar became a Lithanian dependency. About 2 centuries ago, Bolivar evolved from a dependency to a vassal state. That's the Ciñas dynasty. You could say that was when Bolivar became the Bolivar we know, although the Ciñas dynasty's subjects never called themselves Bolivarians. Then, during the Witch King's reign, Lithanian tried to stir up civil unrest in Colombia through Bolivar. But not only did their efforts fail, Bolivar was actually invaded by Colombia, and that was when the coalition government was established. And from then on, Bolivar was split between both Colombia and Lithanian. Lithanian didn't really care about Bolivar that much, and while Colombia was teeming with ambition, Bolivar was too big for it to engulf at once. And that's how this tug of war started. Then, unable to bear the situation any longer, the Bolivarians chose to take up arms.
They formed a resistance movement and called themselves the True Bolivarians, and they swore they would make Bolivar a real country one day. Unfortunately, things only took a turn for the worse. True Bolivarians' establishment only dragged Bolivar into even deeper waters. In the end, this is the mess that Bolivar has found itself in. The coalition government, the Ciñas dynasty, the True Bolivarians. The three sides are in a perpetual war with no end in sight. Not only that, but this city, Dossoles, emerged out of the chaos. Under Miss Candela's management, not only is the city well liked by all three governments, but all three of them even owe Miss Candela many a time. That's because the city has resources that they just can't ignore, and Miss Candela also has the power to defend the city. And so the city has become a place that all Bolivarians set their sights on. Every Bolivarian who's fed up with war dreams of saving up enough money to come here for a vacation, or even get a fresh start here. Miss Shen, you and Miss Lin are good at heart, so I am sure you both are well aware of what kind of a place this city is. Let's say that three governments are still intent on uniting all of Bolivar. That's something that would never cross Miss Candela's mind. To put it bluntly, Miss Shen, this city's prosperity was built on top of the pain and suffering of all Bolivarians. And the more prosperous it is, the less hope this country has. This is a fact that many of those who truly love Bolivar cannot accept. And you are one of them. I am. There should not be a city like this within Bolivar's borders. Your goal is to destroy it. No, that would be a waste. Our goal is to sow terror. So you're telling me all this to try to talk me into helping you? Hardly. I'm not so confident that I can persuade someone to join our ranks with just a few words. But I am hoping you and Miss Lin could stand by and not get involved. I'm sure you can at least see how this might be justice, Miss Shen. As long as the two of you stay out of this, I can guarantee you that our men won't do anything to you. You are strong. Having fought alongside you in the championship, I am well aware of that. Fighting you would cause a lot of unnecessary losses. I am hoping you and Miss Lin would consider this proposal of mine. Ernesto, please, go ahead. Not long ago, I found myself caught in a conspiracy far more complicated than this one. The only thing I got out of it was the realization of my own weakness. But at the very least, I still dare to say this. There is no justice in spreading terror. Besides, you aren't telling the truth. I am not sure I follow, Miss Shen. I'm admitting to being the mastermind. No, you aren't. We're locked in your shop. That's pretty suspicious. Effective, but also very rash, and I doubt you didn't consider the possibility that it was going to blow your cover. So I was thinking you might still have a trick up your sleeve. But suppose you are the mastermind behind all this, I don't think any tricks up your sleeve could make up for your cover being blown. Then I figured it out. Ugh, Jesus. If your was never that important to begin with, in other words, if getting your cover blown never mattered to you in the first place, then it all starts to make sense. Your thinking is that it would be all the better if you managed to stall us, but even if that didn't work out and you ended up getting your cover blown, all that would lead to is this situation that we find ourselves in. I would see you as the one behind all this, unable to get a glimpse of what's behind you. And even now, you're still playing us like a fiddle, aren't you, Ernesto? If you were truly being played, you'd never say as much, Miss Shen. We don't have enough information. I know this might be a setup, but it is one that I have to jump into. Yet with what little clues you had, in just one short week, you almost got to the bottom of this plan we've been working on for years. Miss Shen, you and Miss Lin never fail to impress. Really, quite a lot of people tell me I'm blowing this out of proportion by making you two my primary enemies. But I'm feeling glad I did. Otherwise, I'd been just a little careless and let slip it just a little more. You would already have it all figured out. Too bad. You failed.
Ernesto says and turns on the TV. Alright, and we are moving on to stage 7, titled Beach Blockade. Says here, Hoshiguma may be experienced and knowledgeable, but even she admits that she's rarely met one who revels so much in chaos and danger as Candela. So, this stage has only a before part, so let's begin. Huh? What's wrong? I can't connect to the program's internal feed. It's being hijacked? 10 years ago, I thought Bolivar would find true peace if we chased the coalition and the Sinyas out of the country. I risked my life to fight for true Bolivarians. In the end, 3,000 of my brothers fought to their deaths. If it wasn't for my own brother risking his life to save mine, I would have been shot that day. And that was the day when I finally realized. The coalition, the Sinyas dynasty's nobles, and true Bolivarians, not one of them truly wants to save Bolivar. All they are doing is fighting a war. And no matter how long this war lasts, Bolivar will never see salvation. To escape the turmoil, I made my way to this city. In a hopeless country, I found this hopeless city. And then we have Candela Sanchez, who's the most hopeless of us all. On this hopeless swath of land, she built a city far more corrupt than all Bolivarian cities combined. And not only is she enjoying this herself, she's even dragging all those around her into her cesspit of enjoyment. All of them think they lead a proper life. They have no idea just how much blood lies underneath them, in the city's sewers, and how many scavenging beasts the place is feeding. She is feeding on the flesh and blood of all those who live in these lands, never to care about their lives. The city must die, and all of you who indulge in the pleasure this place has to offer must die with it. The championship's over. Now I will take back this city. If no one else will save this country, I will.
So your father is the one behind all this. When you realized we were starting to piece it all together, you chose to divert our attention toward you. That way, even if we actually figure it out, you would get to buy time for the one pulling the strings. That's right. I'm not going to say I won, Miss Shen. This was never a fair fight to begin with. You came too late, and you took on Miss Candela's mission too hastily. This is the final bit of generosity I have to offer, Miss Shen. Surrender along with Miss Lin. If you give up without a fight, I can guarantee that no one will lay a finger on you. You have nothing to do with this. There is no reason for you to jump into our morally grey mess. I can't do that. The ship has been taken over by our men. If you resist, you and Miss Lin will die. An old friend once told me, I have to take a beating before I can learn. Like a young her, that being a stubborn ass is just a stupid impulse. And even now, I've got no idea what kind of stubbornness I'm supposed to stick to, and what counts as an unrealistic stupid impulse. But my guess is she probably knows not enough to stop me, or my name isn't Shenhyu Shi. Do what you're gonna do. I'm in a hurry.
Hey, isn't that Mr. Pancho? What is he talking about?
I don't know. Is this some kind of special performance? Was that an explosion? Where was it?
I think it came from the place where the first round took place. Look, there's smoke in that direction.
Hey, you're kidding. Is Old Man Pancho serious? Lady Candela, there are numerous unknown forces sowing chaos in the city and the surrounding countryside.
So that's your move, Pancho.
Lady Candela, please, we need to move you somewhere safe.
Evacuate? Don't be absurd. I have the front row seat here. I'm not going anywhere. Don't worry about the ruffians on the streets. Deal with them as you see fit. My guess is that I am their ultimate objective anyway. Oh, don't forget to clear the crowds too. Be sure to close the city's gates first though. Send everyone home. After that, secure the staff. However, make sure they make preparations for the banquet. And definitely make sure the championship's live broadcast goes uninterrupted. Protect them, but don't ruin my championship. Is that understood?
Roger.
Right, and get me some new drones. They probably wrecked all the ones on the ship. We mustn't miss out on all this fun. Hey, you're kidding. We're here on holiday. How did this happen? Though I guess this is what Bolivar is supposed to feel like. Enough. Let's figure out what to do with this. Missy, we're tourists. This is nothing we should poke our heads into. Would you say that to Shenhyu Shi if she was standing right here? Of course, but I'm sure you know what she'd say. Then my answer's the same. Alright, all I say is I'm not against this. Rhode Island, Cedar Roca's getting drinks. Let me go check on her. And besides, the two of them are on the ship too. How am I not supposed to worry? I'm not all that worried about them. What's more, we are outsiders. It's not like we've got a side here. Though with all this ruckus going on, I very much doubt Shen and Lin are... Pardon. Shen and Lin are oblivious. I don't know what's going on the ship, and it's not very realistic for us to get on board to help them. So let's stick to things we know we can do. How dare you ambush me while I have drinks in my hands? I didn't expect to see something like this happen here. Looks like they are organized. The beach has fallen into chaos. I don't have a weapon on me either, so it's hard for me to do anything. Maybe I should regroup with Hoshiguma first.
Let's get her. Alright.
Sideroka!
Knocks the shit out of them.
Thanks, Hoshiguma. No need to thank me. That reminds me, you're like the captain of this mission. You heard it just now, didn't you? What will Rhode Island do about this? I'm on vacation myself, just a passerby helping with what she can...
Just a passerby helping with what she can won't be a problem. Right. Sure. Continuing.
Huh, I knew you would say that. Let's go then. Oh, right. Red, where are you? No idea, Cedar Roca. Lots of people. Stench of blood. Yeah, I know. Come to the beach. I need you to protect Ea, Fiala, and Susuro. Okay. What's up? There's a group over there. They aren't running. Are they headed toward the mayor? Come, Cedar Roca. Let's stop them.
And that leads into 2 battle stages, but we continue on to stage 8, titled Beach Landing. Swire worries for the safety of Shen and Lin Yusha, but she fears the trouble they are causing even more. And that is where the after story takes place. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? My dear citizens and friends, as well as our beloved tourists from afar, Candela speaking. First, please don't be alarmed. I will admit that I did not see old Pancho's plan coming. I never expected that my trusted subordinate would do something so horrifying as to plot against me to take this city. How terrifying. However, as I said in the beginning, this is no cause for alarm. Rather, I must give Pancho my thanks. To be honest, I've been wondering for the past 2 years what we could do to make the championship more exciting, more eye-opening, and more thrilling to all of us. And I've never found a particularly nice way to do this. Yet Pancho's found it. Through his actions, he is putting on an even more exciting championship. Think the championship's over? No, not at all. At the very moment, our championship has reached its true climax. At this point in time, all teams are revived and betting has reopened. Stop the troublemakers that are sowing chaos in the city to the best of your ability. I know you can. And once everything comes to a successful conclusion, you will be adequately rewarded. Oh, you must be the ones. My subordinates told me you helped them foil a plan to assassinate me. Come, sit with me. As your reward, you may sit here in the front row to enjoy this match with me. Are you serious? Of course, I'm always serious. Pancho knows he wouldn't stand much of a chance if he flipped the table right in front of me. And that's why he's holding up in the ship I entrusted to him. And if my guess is correct, he probably added quite a few features to it in secret. Maybe a cannon or two? But if that was all there was to it, it would hardly be a threat. Not threat. Between the second and third rounds, we invite the dignitaries from all factions to board the ship so they may enjoy the competition in person. Oh, I see. The dignitaries. That's the key here. The city's operations depend on dealing with them. Right. It isn't a matter of whether I want to solve this problem of his or not, but whether the Bigwig's underlings want me to solve his problem right away. Making such a huge ruckus only by playing dirty. It was probably Ernesto who taught him that. Well, as you can see, there isn't much I can do, and there isn't much that he can do either. In that case, we might as well make things more interesting. Wouldn't that be provoking him? If he actually dragged the brass hats out to slaughter one by one, he wouldn't be doing much with the city even if I handed him the keys. You don't get it, Missy. He wants to take over the city and take it to war, so he needs the big shots backing. Otherwise, he wouldn't have the money or manpower to actually go to war. And if I had to guess, some of the big shots on the ship might already have come to an agreement with him. Oh, now I'm taking an interest in you, young ladies. From the way you are dressed, I suppose you're not from Bolivar? We are from Lungmen, and 2 of our friends happen to be on the ship. So you are friends of Shen and Lin? They didn't mention you at all. We didn't tell them we'd be here on our vacation, so that makes sense. I see. In that case, let me tell you one more thing. I gave Shen and Lin this mission, but I also promised Lady Fumizuki that they would not come to harm during their stay here. Do you know what that means? It means it's not yet time. You know your stuff, young lady of Higashi. And if something does happen to them, then I'm afraid the old man on the ship will find themselves lost at sea, thanks to Pancho. Missy, don't be scared. Come. They say that it takes a fight to get to know each other. It just happens there's one unfolding before us. Come, sit down, let's talk. You done? Done. Things don't look good here, though. Looks like having you deal with Ernesto while I investigate didn't save us enough time. Right. Not happy about it? Not one bit, but not much I can do. This whole affair isn't all that simple. We knew that ahead of time, no? I didn't expect things to get so out of hand, though. You scared? Of course not. Where are you now? In one of the cabins. I took a stroll around while you had your chat with Ernesto. The atmosphere wasn't all that tense before Pancho put his plans in motion, though. But right after his speech, the crew and the sailors started to make their move. The whole ship is on high alert now, and they are very well supplied and well equipped. Sounds like you're ready for a seesaw battle. We aren't completely out of options just yet. How do you figure? They locked all the dignitaries in a single room. Common practice among thugs. Hold on. Let's start with the hostages. Looks like you figured it out. It doesn't matter how many weapons they have on the ship, how well supplied they are, and how many men they have to support them on land. Lady Candela has control here. The best outcome he can hope for is a draw. The odds will be against him if it drags out. These hostages are basically his lifeline. Huh, that's right. These dignitaries are high officials in the three governments. As hostages, they really help keep things in check. It doesn't it doesn't take very long. All he needs is a brief moment. He just needs Lady Candela to hesitate for a second. Then he'll go to do so much more. He'll have so many more bargaining chips. But there's only the two of us here. To be honest, I really am not into the idea of playing hero of justice with you. I'll do it. I'll get their attention and leave the hostages to you. That could work. There should be a lifeboat on the ship, or we could make the jump into the sea and swim. What happens after that? What do you mean? You'll run after everyone's rescued? If you want to stay on the ship and play the hero, feel free. I guess that's how it'll go then. So, should we begin? Let's do it. Right, don't hang up. Stay in touch with me. Where am I? Hermano, are you okay? That Shen woman knocked you out. Oh, right. Now I remember. What's the situation? Things are proceeding according to plan. A few of the bigwigs have already agreed to help Papa. Wait, where's Shen? It seems she's been causing a ruckus all over the ship after knocking you out. Papa ordered everyone to find and capture her. Causing a ruckus? No. Rafaela, check the hostage holding area right away. Shen might be creating an opening for Lin. We're in trouble if they manage to save the hostages. But what about you? I'm fine. Now go. Okay. Collapses. An old friend once told me, I have to take a beating before I can learn, like a young her, that being a stubborn ass is just a stupid impulse. And even now I've got no idea what kind of stubbornness I'm supposed to stick to and what counts as an unrealistic stupid impulse. But my guess is she probably knows that's not enough to stop me, or my name isn't Shen Yu Shi. Good for you, Miss Shen. You know what you're doing and what you must do. But me? Ernesto struggles to his feet and stumbles out of the room. Alright then, and we will go into the next stage. Pardon, almost said after story. Out of habit. But yeah,
Stage 9. Titled Mouse's Courage, Dragon's Might. It says here, drones continue fluttering about the sky and the show's broadcast doesn't stop. The danger is very real, yet it seems as insignificant as dust. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dossoles. So, let us begin on the before part. Status? Going well. I'm almost to the dining room. Roger. We meet again, Miss Shen. You should have stayed in bed. I wish I could have done that. I also wish that when I opened my eyes again, all of this would have been over, win or lose. Too bad I couldn't. You can't beat me. I'm really glad that I identified you two as my greatest foes right at the beginning. We wouldn't have made it this far otherwise. You don't seem like those maniacs out there. Why are you doing this? Let me tell you how I truly feel now that it's come to this. Miss Candela once said that her father, a former mayor of the city, was a useless piece of trash who, propped up by the Lithuanian government, could do nothing but take bribes. Before the outraged citizens could kick his office doors in, he fled the country with his wife and daughter. Although her father was a piece of trash through and through, as the daughter of the scumbag, she followed her father first to Casimir's, then to Victoria. Through her father, she learned all the ways that wealth could be used. She learned the very meaning of wealth. Then she came back to the city and became its mayor. At a time when the resistance was nothing but a huge failure, the city found itself producing the finest liquor, coffee, and confectionaries. Dossoles tequila can even be found in Lithuania and Colombia. And while the Lithuanians and Colombians were bickering at each other, the city transformed into a vacation hotspot of choice among the elite on both sides. They had no choice but to follow Miss Candela's rule. You may never fight here. And it's not military might or prowess that makes them willingly follow this rule. It's wealth, entertainment, and all the luxuries this place has to offer. It's the city's colorful facade. I know that's not how I should see all this, but I can't keep myself from thinking this way. From a certain point of view, and all things considered, perhaps Miss Candela loves this country far more than my father. All he is doing is blindly chasing his construct of a country. He wants a country called Bolivar. Its borders were defined when it was still a colony. Its citizens are those who have always lived on these lands. What comes next? How will this country take on the Colombians and Lithuanians in this conflict? How will it continue to develop as a country? He doesn't know. He doesn't actually know what kind of country Bolivar is. But Miss Candela found a path forward. She found meaning in its existence, and she plans to make that meaning a reality. That's a load of shit. It's better than having nothing but empty promises, no? In that case, why help your father? From the moment I was born, I've watched my father toil away amid the flames of war. I've watched him go from a spirited man to a quiet one. I know what kind of person my father is. He's not like those men who chose to give in to a modern world. Even though working under Miss Candela put these thoughts in my head, that doesn't mean I will betray my father. But I also cannot deny that these thoughts are getting stronger and stronger, so much that I'm slowly starting to consider the other possibilities there are. That's why this operation is something like a crossroads for me. I will wholeheartedly help my father in his cause. If he succeeds, then I will continue to help him. If he fails, then I will accept my change of heart and become Miss Candela's supporter. Of course, if I die... that just means I'm gonna be dead. But now is not the time for all of this to end. Not just yet. That's why I can't let you through. In that case, we've got nothing to say to each other.
Right. It's been a pleasure, Mission. If we'd met under any other circumstance, I would have loved to give you and Miss Lynn a proper tour of the city. I'll pass. I thought you'd say that.
B-Team, send a few men my way. What's up? You know the team that did really well in the championship, Lungvraf? Seems like their girl Shen is still putting up a fight. The whole ship's our people, and all the other contestants are here. How is she putting up a fight?
Apparently, she took Ernesto out. Then she's been running up and down the ship, and now the captain's personally going after her.
Huh, that's something. And here I brushed it off when Ernesto told us not to underestimate them. Speaking of, where's the other girl, Lynn? I don't see her among the hostages. Who knows? Probably jumped off the ship.
You called?
Huh? Promptly knocks the shit out of them. Lin Yusha leaps down from the ceiling above, swiftly dispatching the two with quick chops. Quick, surround her!
Yushi makes good distractions. There's not too many of them here. Let's get this over with quickly.
Surrounded by the guards in the room, Lin Yusha leans forward slightly and dashes. She rams her knee into the first guard's stomach, sending him flying into a second guard. The two violently crash into a pillar, incapacitating them and almost knocking the pillar over. The third guard is about to attack with his weapon, but then notices the two streams of blood gushing out of his arm. He screams and falls to his knees before a single chop turns everything around him black. The fourth and fifth guard attempt to attack her together, only for Lin Yusha to kick an entire dining table toward them. Tableware included. They crash to the ground before they can react. Correctly deducing this, the severity of the situation, the sixth man picks up his comms in an attempt to relay the information, only to find it's puffing up smoke. The next moment, he finds himself flying through the air. His body draws an elegant arc before falling into the sea. Lin Yusha is particularly skilled in close quarters combat, and she takes full advantage of this in the cramped dining room, dispatching the hostage guards in a flash. The hostages, in other words, the dignitaries kidnapped by the captain of the contestants who got dragged into this mess, are all trembling in the corner, gawking at her in surprise. Come with me if you want to live. Ooh, sorry. Ooh.
Come with me if you want to live.
How are we supposed to escape? The whole ship's full of Punch's men.
You two.
Stop embarrassing yourself, stand up. Miss Lin, we'll do what you say.
I'll be the point guard. The rest of you, take care of the bigwigs.
Got it.
Now then. Damn, am I too late? Ernesto said you'd be here. Looks like he was right. Ernesto, Yushi took him out, but he figured the situation right after he came to. He's a capable man. What a shame. Still, I didn't expect to run into this little girl again. Little girl, you shouldn't have thrown yourself into this mess. My name is Rafaela. I'm not a little girl. I may be adopted, but I'm Papa's daughter, so this is exactly the mess I should be in. Mi hermano called you a good person. Why are you standing in our way? Do you think what you're doing is right? I'm not so sure, but Hermano and Papa said that the city is a bad place, and I take their word for it. You should form your own opinion. You should form your own opinions, little girl. Sometimes your elders need your help.
Okay, I will not lie. This shaking even the first time earlier reading through this before the recording is making me woozy. I don't know how everybody else feels about this, but ugh.
They have experience, and they can be quite insistent on following that experience. When it comes time for you to take over, you can't always do as they did in the past. You need to use your own reasons to break away from their old ways. You need to think about what only you can do. I don't understand. It's okay, but you should try to remember this. Okay, I still have something else to take care of, so it's time for you to be good and go to bed, little girl. How dare that Lin Yusha hang up on me? Now I can't reach her. What the hell is she doing? Lin Yusha, what are you even doing? I heard you rescued the hostages like 20 minutes ago and now most of their men are coming after you. I know. I'm not with the hostages right now. My guess is they're gotten out. What are you... Trust me, come to the basement. Together we'll...
Shen puts her phone down and turns around in an instant. Pancho and his men are standing not too far away. I've heard stories of what an impressive man the chief of Lungmen, Wei Wu, is. You may be no less formidable, but neither of you have a clear head, and he has sent you two nonetheless. Looks like Wei Wu is no more impressive than Candela. You people see nothing but money. There is nothing but leisure on your mind. I can't wait to slaughter all of you. I don't know what Lungmen is like, but ever since I was born, there's been blood gushing out of Bolivar's veins. Who doesn't want to shake hands and live in happiness? But none of us here can do that. Let me tell you this, it doesn't matter how much blood we spill, the city sucks far more blood in a single day. Alright, I've had enough of your games. Give it up, or this is where you die.
Why are you doing this? Do you really think this is right, in spite of how much more blood you'll spill? None of those questions matter to him. In his eyes, I'm the one who's disrupting his plans, and besides, I can't argue with him. Not because I regret what I've done. In fact, it's because I do agree with him, now that I understand his motives. Even if I disagree with his methods. But I don't understand Bolivar well enough, and I don't understand war well enough. I can't come up with a better solution. That's why I can't argue with him. That's why I can't draw my blade. Shishao definitely won't accept me as I am now, I can tell. In that case, there's only one thing I can do.
Shen slowly lifts her gun. So you have chosen death. Likewise, Pancho slowly lifts the anchor in his hands. Right at that moment,
jump, Hyushi.
with no time to think, Shen leaps off the deck of the ship. Lin Yusha is waiting underneath with the boat. After them! And that is where we go into the battle stage. So, before we do that, the usual addition of adding the description of the boss of the stage, which is obviously Pancho Salas. An old veteran piloting a heavily modified motorboat. Even should his vessel be destroyed, he will never falter before reaching his goal. And that is pretty much it when it comes to his description. So yeah, like I said at the beginning, this will be an interesting view at what I used back then. And I looked at this earlier when I was completing, well, earlier, the other day when I was just going through the stages to complete the little quests for the points. Don't think about it too much what I used here. Half of this group was literally in here just for what's it called, for trust farming. That was pretty much it. I think a couple of these operators back then got trusts, especially I think Dornar got her operator records, which were like 200% needed, and she was very, very low back then, so some of these operators needed work. She mostly. But anyway, this is the stage. Well, you could say at least they gave it a very dope battle track. Even though the stage itself was very simple. The old man is literally like the biggest threat of this. But I'll say this as well. I love that the whole stage is... The stage is essentially a moving stage. Even though obviously from our perspective it doesn't appear as much, but still, it is a moving stage. Also, there's an interesting thing that I will address about Pancho, but I will address so when we see him again after this battle in a scene, because he will have a different sprite. And I want to just talk about something that slightly annoys me. But you all will see very soon what I mean by that. And that's pretty much the stage. A very simple boss stage, even though the boss has two phases on top. Alright then. So we shall continue now into the after story. Hey, look. That's Shen and Lin they're chasing, right? Impressive. Really impressive. We should go help. Suddenly, a loud explosion echoes from the ship, not far from the shore. I love this image. It's so stupid. It's epic and stupid at the same time. What did you do? A little surprise. Remember how I asked you what to do after the hostages are rescued? I did agree with you that I should take everyone with me and leave, but then it came to me I still had that bomb. So I thought I'd give them a little surprise. Care for a drink? Interesting time for such a display of aesthetics. I didn't notice this until I got the boat out here, so I figured I'd try my hand at arranging it. Sounds lame. No, it's cool. Shut up. Talking about yourself? I can't tell for sure whether you did that intentionally or not. What? Have you forgotten already? When it comes time for you to take over, you can't always do as they did in the past. The call was still connected when you said that. So, be straight with me. You didn't do what I think you did, right? We're almost to the shore. Oh, also, the freaking... Really? They couldn't adjust the CG for the beach from here on out. The ship is still there. Alright then. You lost, old man. So now, I want to address this. I have nothing against the fact that he's obviously beefier under his clothes. Not gonna even address that. What I will address is the giant mother flippin' originium growth crystal on his left shoulder that... what? Is his military jacket a TARDIS? How? How did that not be visible? It can't be that it literally grew in the moment he went to battle, right? Because it doesn't get addressed from what I remember anywhere else. Where, like, I can live with the little growths on the right arm there, the little crystals can be obfuscated, yada yada. But that chunker there that is bigger than his head? What? What? Anyway.
You have no idea what you've done helping Candela. You've done well, Pancho.
Candela.
Stop. We're lost. We lost.
Good choice. Come, sit.
What are you trying to do, Candela?
Can't you tell? I'm inviting you to eat with me.
Pancho snorts but sits down opposite to Candela nonetheless.
Most men would be terrified at this point. That's what I like about you, Pancho.
You flatter me. I lost, but not only have you not arrested me, you're asking me out to eat. What are you trying to do? Humiliate me?
I want a chat, Pancho. You used Ernesto to distract me, and you had your underlings plant bombs all over the city during the competition. Finally, right before the third round was to begin, you took all the elites and dignitaries on the ship hostage to keep me from doing anything. I've got to hand it to you, Pancho. This is the closest I've come to losing my city.
Concha tu madre, Candela. My men and I spent days on end to put this plan in motion. Then it so happens you invited two outsiders who don't know the slightest thing about this city here, and it so happens they took on this case for you. And they happen to thwart my plans. Why did you, of all people, win?
I won? What are you talking about? Dear Pancho, I think you've spent so much time in my city that you've forgotten who I am. Or perhaps you never understood me at all. I was never your opponent, and you didn't lose to me. You merely failed. It's that simple. You lived in the city you lived in the city you despised the most for decades, complaining about the three governments, yet you accepted the backing of one of them just to overthrow me. Let me guess, it's probably someone from Lithanian's side. Oh, I even have a good idea who it might be. Tell me, Pancho, what was going on in your head that you turned to those ruthless men for help? Oh, so you've learned to swallow your pride. In that case, why not wag your tail at me and beg for my mercy? How are you so sure I wouldn't help you? I mean it, Pancho. If you had come begging, perhaps I would have given you the manpower and money to fight the wars you so love. And if you then managed to win, the city would have to bow down to you. You couldn't find a more attractive plan if you tried.
I will never bow down to you.
Oh, look at you. You're always so stubborn. Men like you always have unrealistic expectations of the world's complete and independence. You dream of an ideology that will bring all of you together. You seek a symbol that will unite all of you under its banner. But the truth is, Bolivar has never been independent. It has no history, so where will you find your ideology and symbol? Suppose you succeeded, would the Bolivar you go on to forge really be the Bolivar you always dreamt of? Somehow, I doubt it.
It doesn't matter what you say. All I've ever wanted is an end to the war, for peace to be restored to Bolivar. I lost. I accept defeat, Candela. My undertaking may not be righteous, but at the very least I am more righteous than you are.
Oh, pardon. Look at me. I confused you with the man behind you. You are not the kind of man I described. You wish to save this country from the bottom of your heart, and that earned you this seat right now. However, you must be punished for your failure, so I will treat you as their leader nonetheless. Make things easier that way. I've never thought myself righteous, dear old Pancho. I don't care what the three governments are doing, and I certainly don't care about your Bolivar. You say I'm obsessed with the city, but you're wrong. I don't care about the city. What I care about is the meaning that this city represents.
Meaning? You call wasting your life away on entertainment meaning?
Look at how stubborn you are. You will never understand what money represents. Okay, take this old bastard away. I will talk to him some other time. If you come across anyone trying to resist, you know what to do.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, I bet not even the Hungmen banquet was this intense. Just watching them was enough to give me creeps. That was about as suffocating to watch as watching my father and grandpa having dinner together. Agreed. Hashiguma? Swire? Hey there. Look at you two. You're drenched. Get a towel and dry yourselves. What are you doing here? It's a long story. We'll talk about it over dinner. I'm not sure I'm in the mood for dinner after all this. Oh, my girls, look at me chattering away with Pancho, leaving my heroes of the day out in the cold. Hey, you over there, get 2 drones over here right away. Lighting too. That was beautiful from the two of you. Simply beautiful. I have to thank Wei and Wu for introducing me to such fine examples of the younger generation. And you contributed a wonderful, unparalleled ending to this championship. Championship? Ending? That's right. If nothing goes wrong, I am guessing a lot of people are sitting in front of their TVs watching us. Although we didn't get footage of everything that transpired inside the ship, I am sure the sight of you taking on Pancho on the deck has left a deep impression. Everyone must be cheering for you two right about now. You once told me that as long as you're here, no one can threaten the city. Yes, I did. What of it? You don't consider everything that just happened a threat? My little Shen, you are still far too young. What constitutes a threat? Is the city getting leveled? Is it seeing its entire population massacred? No, those are hardly threats, Shen. The real threat is the city's people losing their desires, never to seek enjoyment again. But you've been a policewoman for a great number of years. Do you think that's possible? Oh, the look on your face tells me what you think. You see, you know it yourself. The answer is that it's not possible. And as long as that remains the answer, the city will continue to exist. And if Dossoles falls, Dressoles will rise in its place. However many cities you need, I can build. Crazy!
Anyway.
Nonetheless, that doesn't erase the fact that you two are heroes to the city. Oh, look at me, how forgetful I am. Is the party ready yet?
For the most part.
Now where's my mic? Oh, there we are. My dear citizens and tourists, whether you are sitting in front of a TV or watching from the beach, it gives me great pleasure to announce to you the final victors of this year's Dossoles Warrior Champion, as well as the heroes that saved our city. Our heroines from Lungmen, Shen Yushi and Lin Yusha. Let us all thank Pancho for taking it upon himself to give us such a grand performance. Now, we'll be throwing a party on the beach. Everyone is welcome.
Absolutely batshit insane. Also, what was that hitch just now? Anyway, we shall finish off today's narration on the DH-ST-4 stage, titled The Usual Lapping Waves. And it says here, a bout of danger dismissed as a farce has passed, yet nothing has changed. Hey, DDD, you're finally awake.
Waking up after catching some Z's is pretty normal, no?
You crashed straight into bed the moment you got back last night, though. That really had me worried.
How are things looking outside?
If you're asking about the city, it's just like before. Bustling. I heard a lot of people talking about what happened yesterday while I was having breakfast. Didn't seem like they care much, though.
Well, things really already got pretty watered down. Mayor Candella's amazing. With all that went down, nobody could have seen that coming.
I was really shocked when I saw it on TV, too. I've never seen anyone calm things down like that. And quite a few people actually went and fought the terrorists.
That was right there. It just felt so bizarre. Some of the terrorists were going straight after Miss Candela, and they were really close. But she didn't even seem to care about that. All she cared about was getting the drones to the ship so she could get a good look at the action there. She was just standing, pointing at the screen and the sea while talking to the other spectators around her. It was like nothing that was happening was real. Then those two girls showed up. It was like them being there dragged everything back to reality. It was so exciting!
So you want to create something?
You know me well.
How long have we known each other?
Yeah, that's right. I want to write a song that to document the fear, gratefulness, confusion that I feel right here, right now. This is a song I'm writing for myself, but it's got to do with them. On its own, the city is a decent place. Lithanians, musicals, Columbia's movies, and Bolivar's coffee. I've got to experience everything I wanted to try. But the people here are so boring. I got tired of playing with them about halfway through the competition. If I'd known this is how it would turn out in the end, I would have boarded a ship with Miss Shen after I made sure she was alright. I probably could have helped her that way. Oh well, I'm starting to be sick of the city. Maybe I'll check out wherever Miss Shen's going. I bet there are just as many nice people like her where she comes from.
Yes, Mizuki, join Rhode Island. Join! But yeah, that's literally his entire drive to join Rhode Island.
That's way too reckless of you, Swire. Uh-huh, yeah, okay, yeah. Fine, I got it. Why do I have to sit here and listen to you reprimand me again? I left the LGD in your hands and you... Oh, I know what I'm doing. Besides, what about you? I thought you jumped ship to Rhode Island to be an operator there. But here you are on a holiday. I'm fine. You're right. Come on, keep going. Why did you stop? I don't even remember the last time you two had an argument. We had one last time I went to Rhode Island. Anyway, we're all here, and we've got everything wrapped up. We should put all the unpleasant things behind us and have some fun instead. Right, Shen? Right. What's wrong? Are you still thinking about yesterday? Yeah, I might have received the honor that I don't ever want to receive in my entire life. True. To be honest with you, even I thought that was pretty nasty. But it happened nonetheless. Shen, there's not a whole lot in the world that goes exactly as you want, but can still be called an absolute win for all parties concerned. I know. Okay, enough. If we're just going to sit here and talk, we might as well go and go get some shopping done and stuff our faces with food to cheer ourselves up. Let's go. I'm paying for lunch. Now, where's that stupid rat? I think I saw her heading out early in the morning. Not sure where though. I have an inkling where she might be. I'll go find her. Let me know when you do. She's been hiding from me since last night. She's dead as soon as I find her, I'm telling you.
Sorry. like, yes, Shen and Lin have a Tsun thing going between each other, continuously being just angry, but in a good way. But Swire is definitely in a different league when it comes to expressing her feelings towards Lin. Anyway. Also, not in a bad way.
I'm leaving you in charge of the place once I'm gone. You remember everything I taught you, right?
Of course, you can rest assured it's in good hands.
What are you two chatting about?
Oh, Miss Shen, the boss is lecturing us right now.
Don't tell her that, she might arrest you. I'm not a cop anymore. I've never seen such a big busybody of a tourist. Leave us.
Of course.
Do you need something? I doubt you looked everywhere just to have a drink with me. What if I tell you that's what I'm doing? Then, let's have a drink. I know the president of the Illumin Young Entrepreneur Association to be a decisive, resolute person, strict on both herself and others. And now I've finally seen her decisiveness for myself. And the LGD Special Inspection Unit Chief I know is an impartial person who shows criminals absolutely no mercy. I finally had the pleasure to meet her. Did Wei and Wu send you here? Lady Fumizuki sent me here as his representative. At first I didn't understand why, but I figured it out when I saw you. You aren't mad? Not at all. This is an opportunity for me. The Rat King's daughter won't necessarily become the Rat King, but it also means she could be. So that's why you helped him? I won't answer that, Yushi. Why not? Because I'm not like you. You want to say I abandoned Lungmen? The thought did cross my mind at first, but not anymore. This is a simple declarative sentence. I'm not like you. That kind of grates on my ears. That's your problem. Huh?
Oh boy. Okay, before I do it, here comes a sentence very, very soon that will have, if I am right, Cantonese in there, which I couldn't specifically find and figure out how to properly pronounce, so I'm definitely gonna butcher it. Feel free to leave a comment how much I've butchered it. Plus, if someone can confirm what it says, after the sentence is on screen, I'm gonna say what I think she's saying, because of one word in there, but it's kinda the obvious thing that she's saying, so...
Hey, did you find that stinking rat yet? She's right here. Where are you? In a bar on Coastal Highway 26. The 26, perfect. I see a decent place there. I'll send you the address. You two head over and get us a table. And drag that Dongongao Lo Siu there if you have to. Don't let her get away.
So... what I'm presuming she's saying in Cantonese is literally the same thing she's usually saying to Lin. And that is the stinking rat, I guess? Is my best guess here, because I think Siu is supposed to be rat or mouse? Rat, I think? Anyway, pardon.
You heard her. Will that woman ever be less of a pain? Shall we go? Let's go.
Swire is definitely differently built.
There's quite a lot of people on the beach.
By the way, I want to address how every time in this scene now, sorry if I'm continuously breaking this, but in this scene now, every time it switches to Lin talking, the default model of Shen goes to a surprised expression face for some reason. I don't know why, but that's what it is. At least I'll say this. they actually addressed the background image, and you can see the ship sunk there in the background now. Compared to last night's picture where it was still floating about even after it exploded and caught on fire. Anyway.
The ship's one of the city's symbols. Not that it's sunk, people here are bound to be curious. The cruise ship, huh? It doesn't matter what you think about it. We are the ones who blew it up. That's the truth. We should be thankful that Lady Candela wrote it off as off in exchange for our prize money. To be precise, you blew it up. You had a better idea? No. Who's that over there? Ernesto?
Miss Shen, Miss Lin.
What are you doing here?
Miss Candela spared everyone except my father. Most of us are being exiled. She's only letting me stay because of my service in the past few years. Of course, I'm most definitely losing my job.
You're thinking of staying?
No, I'm planning to leave. Rafaela and I are trying to figure out where to go. I spent the whole night thinking and still don't have anything. That's why I'm sitting here, gazing out at the sea to see if it gives me any ideas.
Rafaela is the little girl?
That's right. She's the daughter of my father's old war friend, Tio Pu. He died rescuing my father from prison, and I trusted her to him before he died.
Also, to whoever speaks... Actually, are they speaking... I can't remember what the actual language of... Is it Spanish or is it Mexican? But whatever. Tio means uncle, essentially.
Have you two given killing me here on the spot any thought?
I don't have the right to pass judgment on you yet. Had you succeeded, I'd kill you the moment we saw each other again. As for right now, I'll pass.
It's just like you to say stuff like that. Miss Shen, Miss Lin, I suppose in Yan they'd call me an unfilial son?
Yes. We could also say you betrayed your father in the name of righteousness, but you aren't there yet.
You're right. There wasn't anything righteous about what I did. The thought of betraying my father never crossed my mind during this operation, though. Do you remember what I told you on the ship, Miss Shen? That wasn't a lie. I'm not sure if this has crossed your mind during your time here. I know very well what this city was built on top of. However, whenever I look at the skyscrapers and the blue sky up above, I can't help but feel that there is some sort of legitimacy to it. I can't think of it any other way.
But you choose to leave now.
To tell the truth, if it wasn't for you two, I think I would have willingly stayed here and work under her. But your words left me bewildered. Pardon. You two are foreigners. Perhaps elsewhere things could have been different. It feels much better now that I got that off my chest. Thank you for not bludgeoning me to death the moment you saw me, much less listening to me talk about all this.
It's all a matter of perspective.
Well, I'm done bothering you. I will likely be around for a little longer. Please don't hesitate to come to me if you need me for anything.
Alright. I can't help him.
Neither can...
What do you mean? I just think it's a pity to leave him wallowing in misery like that.
I'll think about it.
Hey, Shen. Hello. We were just leaving the city hall and Miss Swire here invited us to lunch with you.
I see. How did your talks go with the mayor?
Thanks to you, we've played a role in this little incident. The mayor didn't think twice before she agreed.
It's just like her to do that.
Finally caught you, you stupid rat. I wasn't running away. Perhaps you've got a few loose screws, Beatrix. You're the one who's got loose screws. Most girls aren't so jealous of their friends going on a holiday that they follow them in secret. I'm built different.
You really are built different.
Right, Missy said we'll be going shopping in the afternoon, grabbing souvenirs too while we're at it. Shen, Miss Lin, how about it? Sure. The stupid rat has to come. Fine, I don't have much else to do. Let's go get lunch then. Hey, you four, come, pose for me. What's the matter? It just occurred to me that this could make a really great picture. I'll snap one for you. Something like a memento of your holiday. Sounds lovely. Hey, ugly rat, it's time for a picture. Get in. Whatever. It's not often that the four of us get to spend time together. How about it, Shen? Sure. Alright. 3, 2, 1. Cheese!
Back in Lungmen, Dossoles' hand-ground coffee is known for its unique aroma, and the finest of the finest has a particularly rich fragrance. Even before you take a sip of the coffee, you are blessed with its aroma, and while your first sip may seem bitter, you will be greeted with its true, fine flavor soon thereafter. It is tart, but not overly so. It is fragrant, but it does not overwhelm. Above all, it leaves a rich aftertaste. Even the most demanding critics find no faults in its many qualities. Some Lethanian nobles even compete against each other in the procurement of Dossoles' finest coffee, and whoever that has the most has the definitive standing in their social circles. A small cup of this rare coffee is now in the Chief of Lungmen Wei-en-Wu's hand, its aroma wafting in the air. And I cannot go further without sipping my own coffee for a second now. Hold on. You cannot make me read so many lines about coffee and not make me want to sip coffee. Anyway.
Are you reading Yusha's report on her trip to Dossoles?
Yes, I am. It's been a while since I last saw Candela. It sounds like she hasn't changed. A crazed woman as always.
You dare say you're not like her?
Of course I'm not like her.
From what the messenger I sent there told me, Yusha and our little Shen did really well. I'm not quite sure why the young lady of the Swire family and Hoshiguma were there, however.
They did a wonderful job indeed. But my guess is they weren't very happy about it themselves.
Why not?
You said Candela wouldn't dare to hurt them. I agree. But they are still too young to know how to endure her generosity. That woman doesn't see right and wrong. Results are the only thing that matters.
So you're beating around the bush, trying to tell me I should never have sent the two of them there?
No, quite the opposite. You're right. There was no harm done in letting them see the sights there.
My, it's not often you say something so nice. In that case, let me show you something nice as well.
What is it?
It's a photo that Yusha brought back. Look, isn't it wonderful? All of them are so young, so full of energy. That used to be us. Do you remember?
Of course I remember.
I'll sleep better knowing Shen is doing well. I'll frame this picture and cherish it forever.
As long as you're happy.
Yan-Wu,
Hmm?
is our little Shen going to come back?
Yes.
I'm glad.
And that is technically where the story ends. Like I said at the beginning, if you want an extra epilogue, linked in the description of the video is Shen Alter's operator records. They are not narrated like this is, but they do further showcase a couple of little things that are happening. They're mostly showcasing Shen's like development as a person, you could say, after the events of chapter 8. So it will probably make more sense for people who have read and finished that story all the way up until the end. But still, it's nice to see that she's essentially moving forward. But we are not fully done yet. So, first off, the Honors Showcase. We have 6 individual pictures in here, all pretty much outside of only one of them. All of them are pretty much taking place after the events, and one of them at one certain point during the story. So, first picture, top left, taken in front of Dossoles' SPA boutique. Fell from Tequila's luggage by chance. It seems to have been taken while his friend was helping him shut down his weapon shop. The competition has ended, he has lost his job, his status, and even his home. But he looks far more relaxed than before. Which is a nice thing to see and hear here, that he is now... All of the stress is pretty much gone from the guy. Just gone. And we know where he ends up in. Then top right we have taken in front of Mama John's. Taken by a journalist who happened to be passing by. Shen had believed that this case was resolved by one of her local Dossoles counterparts, until she saw this photo in the papers by chance, 2 days after the competition ended. Then we have the big middle picture here, taken in front of the AHC bar. Jesus, that's hard to pronounce. The headlines of the Dossoles Daily Entertainment section that day. Shen found herself at the AHC bar after following the clues, where Lin Yusha happened to be as well. She admits that Lin Yusha's methods are far more direct and effective, but she still thinks that they are right. Then probably the funniest fucking picture out of this bunch. That goddamn grin. Taken on Gold Coast Avenue, Swire's favorite photo from this vacation. After the 4 met up, Hoshiguma and Swire join Shen's investigation in Dossoles. As for why Lin Yusha is present, just look at her expression. This goddamn grin like, yeah, stinky rat, look! Then on the far bottom right, we have taken during the Rhode Island office's ribbon cutting ceremony. They really fast opened that subsidiary. Anyway, Mayor Candela was sufficiently impressed by Shen's results. The construction of the office was approved and it will receive the support of the city council. Shen is quite stupefied by the entire matter. Also, love her look towards Candela like, this woman be crazy! And then the bottom middle picture, the final one, taken next to the promenade. Hoshiguma forcibly dragged Shen in front of the camera. With the conclusion of Shen's investigation, her holiday at Dossoles has come to an end. Shen's thoughts remain firmly focused on the city. She has yet to find an answer, but she seems to have gained direction. And there we go, a bit of the development towards Shen's like big move from her old self towards new stuff in the future. Bit way more depicted in the actual operator record for Shen Alter, where you can actually see her interacting with someone who is kind of like her old self. But again, go and watch and read that one yourselves, because it's interesting to compare that type of Shen to what we know from the beginning of the main story and stuff. It's pretty much, at the beginning, there was a very long stick up her butt and up her spine that got slightly pulled more out, you could say. But anyway. Alright, so, further, before I go into my thoughts, once again, thank you all for listening thus far to these narrations and so on and so forth. All I can say is, or rather ask for, is please leave a like if you can on these videos, because they do help the algorithm push out the videos a bit more and recommend them more. And I'm probably gonna be asking for likes, even though I don't really like doing this, but again, every single YouTuber is pretty much doing it, because even I keep forgetting to leave likes on videos that I keep watching, even though they obviously help to push the videos forward to be recognized more. And honestly, after recently joining the official English Discord channel, it was probably the first time ever that it made me realize just how many videos on Arknights get pretty much produced and linked daily, especially during events, and the vast majority of those are literally stuff like guides for stages with different units, different setups, different this and that, and it's obviously drowning out a lot of other videos. So please leave a like if you can, maybe even sub if you aren't already. So thank you very much in advance. But anyway, let's go into the thing that I said at the beginning. So, how do I think about this event now, and how did I think about it before, when it originally released? Well, when it originally released, I'll say this, even now, still, like, the overall story itself, not really interesting, obviously. It's pretty much just a... It feels like a summer blockbuster police flick, but on a beach. So not much stuff that would be worthwhile discussing around the story itself. What is interesting to pick up from this story, however, are the little things that, like in the majority of stories in Arknights, get thrown about, especially in the side stories. And that is stuff like the current structures of countries. Like here it talks a lot about Bolivar. It even gives a huge hints about Iberia's prowess and expansion in the past, which we, again, like I said before, learn a lot about in both in Undertides and mostly in Stultifera, where we get that massively expanded, how they came to power and stuff like that. But here was only like a little appetizer to all of that, to all that whole story. So those parts are interesting, and obviously the characters are pretty good. Our dear boy Tequila here is, I would say, a pretty little good antagonist who is like, he's loyal, but he knows that what he's doing isn't like what he wants to do, but he's still gonna go through it. Dedication and stuff, and it's nice to see that despite the whole stress that literally piled itself on top of him, that once that all was over, now he is relaxed, chill. We know he comes to Rhode Island to work for Rhode Island, and together with La Pluma, and they found a new home, essentially. The mayor, on the other hand, is crazy. She's just crazy. She's her own very kind of crazy, and technically not a bad guy, technically not a good guy as well in this whole thing as well. She just does stuff for entertainment and has a very interesting view of how stuff is supposed to be run and done, and how people work and perceive stuff. So, yeah, nuts. Definitely nuts. Pancho, again, not really much happens around him. He's very default military guy who is who doesn't like where the country itself is headed and what Dossoles in this case is standing for, and just wants to change the whole thing. But along the way, he pretty much lost his original goal along the way, or rather, he's pursuing his original goal, but the goal is kind of muted at this point. It's like he is looking at it, but also not looking at it anymore, if that makes any sense. Then we have obviously Shen and Lin being the big protagonists of this story. It was nice seeing Lin actually get characterization and stuff through a story for once. And we'll get much more about her, hopefully, considering she is a character we'll be receiving in the future as an operator on Global. So I'm expecting a lot more shenanigans around with her. But yeah, this was, I think, the first story where she actually actively participated in and wasn't just like there for a couple of micro scenes. And it was great seeing her interact with the other people, especially considering that she and Shen do have a weird kind of friendship, rivalry. I don't know how to put it, but yeah, the two of them. It's like a like and dislike at the same time, kind of dealio with the two of them. Then we have goddamn Swire Hoshiguma. Hoshiguma just tagging along with Swire because she's her bodyguard, but Swire is like, Swire has towards Shen almost like yandere tendencies, but not so much. She's a weird mixed bag of a character and definitely entertaining. That's literally all you can say. Definitely an entertaining character. That one. And interesting how she displays her feelings towards Shen and Lin, and it's through insults. All right then. I guess the more Swire insults someone, the more she cherishes them. Cool. She's that type of person. But very, very good. But yeah, comparing my initial reactions of reading the story way back when, it was entertaining enough. I was more, like I said, interested in the whole little breadcrumbs of information that was spread around about not just Bolivar, but also Iberia, Lithanian. Well, Lithanian gets mostly just mentioned there, but there is mentioning a lot of stuff. Especially they mention Higashi as well at one point. Like, it's just a mixed bag of so much information about other places. But yeah, comparing this story to the now third year anniversary, the Ideal City anniversary, I'll say this: the Ideal City story was way more fun, but that one was more fun because of the fact that both the Arcasoria that are part of the story and the Durin are both so different and unhinged, essentially, in a sense, from other people that you meet. And it was just comedy all over the place. For you who have listened to that narration that I did, even reading for a second time during that story, the first half of the narration is literally me just giggling every so often. Every so often I have to stop and get a laugh out just to cool myself so I can keep going. And the story was also very interesting because that was a big one, considering that up until that point we haven't seen nothing about Durin, and that one just showed so much as to how they live, at least in that one single town. Also, it entertained the idea of how technologically advanced the Durin are, essentially, and how they view oripathy and shit like that. Which, speaking of oripathy, very interesting thing here is that I don't remember, now that I think back through it for this entire story for Dossoles, I don't think at a single point did we have like any kind of tension between like infected and non-infected people, right? There was literally nothing. It's a holiday city. I don't think anybody gives a shit about infections, which is probably the most refreshing part about this story when you think about it. No one stressed about infections and stuff like that. It was just a pretty much summer flick police criminal story. But yeah, entertaining enough. And as I said, enough breadcrumbs were thrown about for connections to other places, stories, lore especially. And that's good. That's also good. Not every story has to be a banger, but at least they should deliver in places of giving us more information about other things, which this one definitely had its moments. And it had character development, which is also nice. But yeah, I would say that's... I can't really think about anything anymore. But for anybody still listening to this part here at the end, like I said, Shen Alter's operator record is essentially another epilogue to this story. Pretty much characterizes Shen even more, as she is now post the first 8 chapters of the main campaign, and showcases how she has changed as a person a bit more. So I would highly recommend to go and read that one. Link for that is in the description. The 2 music videos that I mentioned that I sadly cannot use neither of them here. I did use a tiny little clip muted in the first part of this narration, just to emphasize one thing there. But yeah, cannot use the music because obviously the video is gonna get a nice little copyright flag. So links for those also in the description of the video. And outside of that, like I said, if you like this video, leave a like, leave a comment. Doesn't matter. Please leave a comment if you know if I'm right with or if I'm not right with the narration for that one Cantonese line that was in there. Because I'm quite curious. I presume it's literally the same thing that Swire always yells at Lynn, but would just like a confirmation on that one. But yeah, outside of that... Oh, right. I'm almost forgot. So, before I end this, for the next couple of videos on the channel, considering this event is alive for the next like 5 days as of this recording, well, the first narration thing that will be on the channel will be the next episode for the main story, as I pointed out in a community post like a week or 2 weeks ago, I think, at this point. And after that, well, I guess we'll see once I'm done with recording that episode, depending on how much time there is between when that episode goes out and whatever comes next on the global side of things. Here is hoping that it's gonna be either Dorothy or Mlynner. I would love... To be fair, I don't really care for either unit, like preference-wise, to pull for them. I just care about the stories that will come with the 2 of them. And I'll be fully fair here, I do care a bit more and am way more interested to see what the Dorothy story is gonna be about. Because I smell a lot of Rhine Lab shenanigans, and I'm all for that. I want to see what Rhine Lab is bullshitting about. So yeah, depending on after the next episode of the main story narration is out, if there's gonna be any news and such on posted by the global side of things, I'll make plans for that then concretely. So keep a lookout for the community section on the YouTube ends. But anyway, I rambled enough. So once again, thank you all for listening and watching this side story narration. And all I can say here is I hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, bye-bye.